write my thoughts about where it came from, give some back behind the scenes information, this sort of thing about that chapter. Wonderful things to do if you ever reread one of my books for a second time and you don't mind, you know, that kind of seeing behind the man behind the curtain, talking about how the process. The question is, will I be able to do this for the Wheel of Time books? I hope to be able to. I would not do so until the entire trilogy is finished. And my goal is actually, and I haven't even really run this by Harriet yet because she's really just focused on these books right now. My goal would be to include sections of the notes that Robert Jordan left alongside explanations of why I did what I did in some of the more interesting cases. You know, here's a paragraph that Robert Jordan left, written as he wrote it, and what I did with that to turn it into the scene that he indicated should happen, and why I chose to use this scene and that sort of thing. I'd really like to do that. So once the trilogy is out, if I'm allowed to, I will. If it's not something that really will get published, I will just post it on my website. If it is something that maybe they'll do a small print run at Tor or something like that, then we do it that way. And aside of that, Harriet is working on an encyclopedia to be a companion to the books. The guide to Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time never turned out like Robert Jordan had wanted it to, and so she was left with the task of creating an exhaustive, extensive encyclopedia to be a companion to the books with all the characters referenced, and that will go, a lot of the notes as well will end up in that, a lot of behind the scenes information. All right, last question. Who's it going to be? All right, go for it.
So I'm glad you didn't forget my favorite character, Bella, in your story.
Yes.
And I'm not going to ask you to make her kill the Dark One in the last book, but can you put her on the cover, talk to Daryl, and make that happen?
Can I put Bella on the cover? I do get to give the cover descriptions to Daryl, and I've actually done that for the next 2 books because they're worried about him retiring, and so because he's in his 70s now. I'll see what I can do. If I can slip in and, hey, can we put in a shaggy mare? You know, let's make this Harriet always likes to joke, by the way, she'd probably say this if she were here, that she figures that he based Bella on her. The shaggy yet dependable mare. But she always likes to make that joke. She is much more refined than that, but I think that there's a sweetness and a love for Bella that she kind of sees in herself. So it's hard to not think of Bella without thinking of Harriet, the dependable editor who has been there behind the scenes all the time on the Wheel of Time novels. All right, I've got a few things I need to tell you first. So don't get too anxious yet. These lists are always kind of annoying, but we are going to be giving away the poster that Tor sent for this event. Do we have it?
Ooh.
We are going to give that to one of you, and I will sign it and personalize it if you want me to. We have storm leaders here who are fans of the series that applied for this job that Tor picked. They're going to find a way to get this to you. It's probably going to involve you writing your name on a slip of paper and dropping it in a hat.
Brandon, they're going to use a line ticket number.
You're going to use a line ticket number.
And all the numbers are in here, so keep your ticket number.
Why don't we do that right now? Okay. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do that after I get through my list of announcements, so you'll sit patiently and quietly wait. Okay. Personalizations. I am happy to personalize your books. I want to personalize as many of them as possible. If you come to me with a stack this high, I will request either picking 3 for me to personalize and just sign the rest, or waiting to the end of the line and then coming up and getting the rest of them personalized. I will personalize as many copies of The Gathering Storm as you bought at the store today. All right? So if you did buy 10 copies of The Gathering Storm from the Borders, I will personalize all of them. You know, and if you come up with 4 and you make puppy dog eyes at me, I'll probably do all 4. But, you know, keep in mind, we want to get everyone through the line, and I'm going to stay here until everyone gets through the line. And so let's just keep that in mind. Question for the bookstore folks. Do we have backlist of mine around anywhere?
There are some backlist.
There are some backlists. I don't suppose we could bring those up, could we? We are going to bring up the backlist in case you guys want to buy copies of the books. Yeah, you don't need to, but I want to have them available in case you want to. They do ask that you buy your books first. And so we'll have those up there. If you haven't read Mistborn, that is the book that made Harriet pick me to do this. Just so you know. Warbreaker is my front list. That's what we call the book that was released this year. Warbreaker is a standalone epic fantasy. It's in hardcover. And Elantris is my other standalone, my very first published book. So that's kind of what we've got going on there.
We do have a limited number of the hardcover for the Warbreaker.
They do have some Warbreaker hardcover. If you haven't read Warbreaker, it's a wonderful book to read. It's actually, I probably shouldn't tell you this, it's on my website for free if you want to download a PDF of it. I released it for free as a publicity thing, but most people don't like to read just electronically. It is a standalone 1-volume epic fantasy. I think you will enjoy it. The last thing is we are going to have people going down the line with my with a sign-up sheet for my mailing list. This is spam free, I promise. I generally only send 2 types of emails. One is I am coming to your city to sign. And if you want to get an email from me, it's just a form email that I send, that I click send to the people who live in DC. Hi, I'll be in DC at this date and time. The other thing is I sometimes send hey, I just had a book come out, just so you know, the book is out. I promise not to flood your inbox. I usually send like 1 of these a year, so it's not a big deal. But they will be walking along and they will be giving you bumper stickers. Please take 1 of the 3 bumper stickers at first, so that we make sure everyone gets a bumper sticker. And then after everyone has a bumper sticker, we will bring the rest of them up and set them on the table. At that point, you're free to go crazy and take what you want. All right? Let's do this drawing.
And you're not signing the other Wheel of Time book?
Oh yes, I will not sign the other Wheel of Time books. I'm sorry. Harriet would if she had been here, but I didn't write them. I don't feel it's respectful to Robert Jordan.
How do you get an entry for the drawing?
Do you have a number for your?
It was not given anyway.
Okay. Do we have extra line numbers?
Somebody here says she's got an extra.
He's got one now.
Okay.
I have
Anyone
another
else not have one?
Does anyone not have a line number? Okay, we need to give people line numbers before we do this. So I'm going to go ahead and start signing, and then we will do the drawing once everyone has line numbers. So we'll have someone come in here and ask in a moment for a hand raise if you don't have a line number once they've got the rest of them. And they'll probably call you up in groups. The reason for the line numbers is you can wait and sit and hang out, and you don't have to wait in a line. If you're like, number 70, you can hang out for a little bit. So here we go.